Good day and welcome to this special edition of Spotlight we call GM's Corner, a regular series of short conversations with Lake Monticello's General Manager Steve Hurwitz about what's on his agenda and what's on his mind. Mr. General Manager, nice to be with you once again. Well, a couple of weeks ago we discussed at the outset the Board of Directors discussion, consideration of the lake's finances, reserves, possible need for a dues increase, which they did at their January board meeting. What kind of reaction have you had?
The reaction has been fulsome. A lot of interesting comments. People feel strongly about it naturally. That's not only to be expected, but it's welcome. So there are an awful lot of inputs through various means and ways and media. And I know the board is glad to receive them. The board is responding to the ones they get individually. I'm responding to the ones that come to my office. And there are a lot of great ideas, things we can look into. You know, the board is merely being prudent in identifying the long-term needs of the community and putting something out there as, at this point, their best calculation, and it was not a guess, it was a calculation of what's needed for the community long-term to keep the buildings in good shape and operations running correctly, and make sure we don't get into a situation where we have anything that looks poor, looks dilapidated, and isn't functioning right. So I think it was a very wise move by the board to put that out there as to certainly start the discussion. So people are being very kind about taking their time and letting the board know what they think about it, and connected to that, they're making points about what looks to them like ways to economize and save money, which we really appreciate. There's no idea not worth looking into in that vein. And then other thoughts concerning the raise and the potential raise in the assessments for long-term reserve funds that are really important for a community like this. So I think overall it's going very well. It's been dynamic and exciting. And again, people feel strongly about it with good reason.
Yeah, some folks have been using Facebook as the communications medium apparently, and but that's just one avenue.
It is, and I would say this, people are of course free to use any medium they want, but a much more direct way would be to write directly to the board on the web page. There's a button you can click on, and you'll be communicating directly to the board or any of the board members individually or in combination. They can also write me, and we take every input seriously, look at it, see what we can do, evaluate it, how it can integrate with what we're doing on a day-to-day basis or even on a longer-term basis. And I will add that we're about to start a strategic plan process this year. It'll be a strategic plan, long-term plan for 2020, and there'll be a series of town hall meetings and board working sessions. Well, some of those ideas actually fit into that realm too. People have opinions about where they want the community to be, both now and in the future. So those inputs are very welcome.
Yeah, and to clarify, the board discussion basically continues. They're not going to actually formulate and vote on their proposal, should there be one. Looks like there probably will, until their April meeting.
That's right, and April is a while away.
Yeah.
And so there's it's been out there now for about a month, and I'd like to see the inputs continue because, as you said, it's a dynamic process, and the board has not decided formally. But again, I think they were very thoughtful in putting it out there as early as possible to give people a chance to think about it, comment, and so forth. So yes, it's an ongoing process.
Yeah,
not done.
Just as a reminder to those who may be new to the community, the board cannot just ordain, and this happens. Any such increase must be approved by the membership in full at the annual meeting last weekend in June.
Yeah, that is a big factor here. A long time ago, as things go, that was put in place, and it's an important proviso, both for the members and for the board to consider and to keep things on track.
You've been saying and eager to hear, apparently, residents' comments also about kind of activities they may crave here at the lake, and perhaps particularly those involving youth. That's been a cry for a lot of years.
Well, this is an exciting series of developments. People have commented on that, not only during the budget discussions, but even before that. And we take that very seriously. There are things that we can do to provide activities. So I've actually slightly reorganized responsibilities amongst the staff to have one line of people, a supervisor and another person, concentrate on activities, and they're coming up with some great things, some great possibilities. We actually started last fall. We had a couple of teen dances, actually run by the county here, which I think is very special, and we hope to continue that. The county has significant recreation resources and is interested in doing things at the lake. But in addition to that, we have possibility of, for example, 3-on-3 basketball for youth, and a lot of other activities, both for youth and for other people. So other exciting developments in the area of activities. We're looking at bringing someone in possibly to offer rental, kayaks and canoes. An awful lot of people have visitors who might like to get out on the lake, and their personal marina isn't as big as mine, 2 kayaks. On the other hand, there's also people who live at the lake who don't own boats and would love to do it without going through the trouble of owning boats. Yeah, sure. So we're looking at that, and really a whole list of other activities to see if we can't actually put them in place. In addition, the same group of people has worked with the state, and the Department of Motor Vehicle van that shows up at the grocery store every month is going to come to the lake.
Well, how about that?
And that's a very exciting development, because it means you can get that kind of DMV work done right here. Right in front of Ashlawn is where it'll be.
Oh,
so we're looking forward to that. That was announced actually in the last issue of Lake Views, and we'll continue to announce that so people can take advantage of it when it starts happening very soon.
Oh, well, that's terrific. The one of those we also discussed a couple of weeks ago, the progress of work on the main gate building. So give us an update on that.
That's coming along beautifully. They stripped everything down to the studs, to the 2x4s, and then rebuilt from there. And one of the important things was the building over the years had been patched together from a mechanical and electrical standpoint, with just adding circuits here and there. That's all been done to where there's ample electrical service and lots of outlets to service the equipment, including the third position that we established in there to tide us over with a third staff member working on big days, and that worked very well at Christmas. The lines at Christmas were way shorter than they had been before, and we're looking forward to continuing that. But so they've buttoned that up. They've got the walls up, and they've taped it, and they've mudded it and taped it, and they're putting the paint on now. So from that point, they'll finish up the interior with putting up cabinets and counters for work, and then start working on the exterior. So we're on schedule for opening on April 1st, which is a bit of a coincidence. But,
all right, well,
but we won't fool anybody. We'll just announce it and open it. So I think the main gate crew is doing a great job.
Okay.
Under the leadership of Crystal Wrench, who's the supervisor there. And they work from the operations building, and they seem to just be able to do the job right from there. With every once in a while, someone pulls up, looks in the window, and waits for someone to open the window. And they have to say, "Sir, look the other way."
Janice, the paying teller, is not
Sir
there.
or ma'am, look the other way. So, but it's going very well, both the project and the operation at the front gate. And not only that, but connected to that, the recent change that we made to bring all the databases that have anything to do with barcodes or guest lists are now concentrated in one person, one office. So with all that data available, that whole process is being run much more efficiently and quickly. I'm very pleased with that. We've been trying to do that for years, and we're finally able to get all the right ideas in the right place and get it done.
Oh, that's great. That's great. We had a little bit of a LMOA road show, understand, over the weekend. You and your wife Mickey and a whole delegation, certainly on the golfing side, led by our pro Mark Marshall, up to Washington for a golf show.
Well, this was very exciting, and Mickey and I were very pleased to be considered for spots there. This is an A1 sales team. These are residents who are proud of this community, proud of the golf course and the related programs. And so we got to see, I would have to say I was a rookie and I showed it. But I did my best, but there's an awful lot to tell people about, and the reception was great. There's even people who came up and said, after hearing about our golf course, gee, that sounds perfect. I didn't know about it. And so there are a number of people who said they're going to come down and play and try it out. Some people are interested in buying property and living here. So I think it was a great success. One thing that was really kind of majestic was our youth programs under Mark Marshall are really unique. You know, he's one of the only two master PGA professionals in the state, and he's got youth programs that have been greatly successful, and Mark is expanding them this year. So that was music to some people's ears too, because that's a very attractive thing.
Oh yeah.
And it can be done here. The residents, you know, all residents should think about that. Even if they're not a golfing family, there's an opportunity here for the youth to get involved in golf with, you know, one of the best instructors around at a very affordable rate.
Yeah, it's very nice. And of course, we serve as the home course for Fluvanna County's high school golf team.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so all sorts of matches, and so that's another good exposure, certainly for the lake. We have apparently food and beverage manager Andrew Kerper continues to dig in and is having some successes over there, I guess, both with the menu, and he had a kind of a special event, this bridal show he had.
Well, the bridal show is very exciting in that it was originally scheduled a couple of weeks ago and then got snowed out. And Andrew was, he thought he was going to have to limit it. He was going to reach his limit of 100 brides who come in and scope us out as a potential wedding destination. So we're looking forward to this show happening, and I wouldn't say getting the business, but having other people enjoy what we've built here. And that would really help sustain the financial end of the food and beverage operation, which is going well. Andrew is trying an awful lot of things, and a lot of people are responding very favorably. We get the comment cards, read them all, and that's going very well. And again, Andrew, I don't know how he does it, but it's, you know, there's like one new thing every other day practically, and we're just so glad Andrew's with us in doing that. By the same token, when you have larger crowds, you know, we'll be working on the speed of service and related matters. Our staff tends to be young, which is a great thing. And so, you know, as we learn how to operate with even more customers than we've had before, which is healthy and good, we also are looking forward to learning how to deal with that in the most effective way. And we appreciate people's comments about that too. That is important, that they let us know what their experience was. Andrew loves to talk to the guests and hear about it directly. He responds to all of them. On the other hand, I do also. And people shouldn't be afraid to let me know, you know, on both sides of the ledger, because we are growing. And that's positive, but we need to deal with the growth too.
And have some more opportunity in that regard, because in a couple of weeks, basically, February 23 or 5, whatever it starts, we'll Fluvanna Restaurant Week.
That's right.
We're participating.
That's right. And, you know, Fluvanna Restaurant Week rivals Manhattan Restaurant Week in many ways, if not in size, then in enthusiasm. So from February 25th to March 3rd, we'll be participating at both restaurants. And there's a special menu, a really neat price-fixed menu over in Lakeside that people can pick from, or anything else on the item, and it's to benefit good cause. So we're looking forward to that being as much a success as it was last year.
Well, we'll get in shamelessly, we'll get in the plug that the proceeds benefit Fluvanna's Meals on Wheels, and that's certainly laudable. So We would encourage folks to come on out and participate in that, just as they may in Charlottesville, where the same thing occurs. In their case, I guess it goes to the
Yes.
Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. But hey, we're keeping it at home here in Fluvanna County.
And it's worthwhile noting last year, the lake was #1 in Fluvanna County. And I want to throw out a personal challenge to all the residents. We want to do that and do even better. So they should come on out during that week as well as other times.
All right, okay. Anything else top of the mind at this point?
No, we certainly covered a lot, and there's a lot happening, that's for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity once again, and for your comments. We appreciate it, and I'm sure the residents do as well. You have been watching GM's Corner, series of regular interviews with Lake Monticello's General Manager Steve Hurwitz, and we hope that you'll pick up on these at a normal interval pretty much. Every once in a while it varies a little bit, but they've been pretty much on 2-week intervals as we've been going along. So please stay tuned for further issues of this broadcast, and also for the full range of broadcasts offered by the broadcast group on Channel 977 or up on YouTube. Before we go, this note. A plaque affixed to the wall just to the pub, just to the left of the doors leading to the room which doubles as a board of directors meeting room and the broadcast studio, denotes the room as the Schaefer Broadcast Studio. Bill purchased those rights, Bill Schaefer purchased those rights back when LMOA made them available as a means of helping to finance the furnishings here at the new Fairway Clubhouse. It was a typically generous and community-minded thing for Bill to do. Today, that plaque holds a new sad significance. Bill Schaefer died at home on Sunday, February 3, shortly after being diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic pancreatic cancer. He was 67 years old. Bill came to the lake not all that long ago and joined the broadcast group about 6 years ago, knowing nothing, as he put it, about broadcast, but he did know an awful lot about computers. And he knew that the audio and video quality of the analog signal being sent at that time could be vastly improved. So Bill went about doing that, and he did it almost single-handedly. He conceived the systems, researched, priced, purchased the equipment needed to make it all come together. He worked with the board of directors in shepherding budgets through. He wrote manuals and trained our volunteers. That was, again, a very generous use of his time and expertise. Bill also served as an unpaid, unofficial consultant to the board of directors for the renovation and rebuilding project, figuring out the systems, audio and visual, that would be needed at both the Ashlawn and the Fairway clubhouses. Again, he worked with the architects, provided more than 50 very intricate design drawings to make that happen. Once again, generous use of his time. And he reached to the broader community by serving in a volunteer capacity, of course, by designing the Fluvanna County Meals on Wheels website. Bill was no techno nerd, though. Warm, gregarious, humorous, eyes brimming with intelligence and eagerness to achieve. Bill led the broadcast committee and the broadcast group with fairness, friendship, with passion. Our hearts go out to Bill's dear wife, Barbara, and their family. He leaves a great void. To say he will be missed is an understanding. It's a great void. Today we mourn, but tomorrow and all the tomorrows after that, we'll give thanks for Bill Schaefer, We've been made richer by his presence among us, and now we're that much poorer. For the LMOA Broadcast Group, I'm Ron Krauss. Good day.